right, you ready for the world premiere of Merman's Apprentice?
Broadway's leading lady, brassy, sassy, and classy, Ethel Merman.
I was wondering why Ethel Merman didn't get to do the movie version of Gypsy, and why they dubbed Ross Russell when she could sing perfectly well in Wonderful Town.
Ariel Plackenstein, put down that original cast album and pick up your math book.
Junior high school period 1.
Quiet, no talking, Muriel.
That's the way my life is day after day.
Ariel Plackenstein, report immediately to the principal's office.
Junior high school period 2, and it's
Quiet, detention, Muriel.
well, Muriel Plackenstein's had quite enough of hushing and shushing and all of that stuff. My shy and quiet way, I've got lots to say. 1 ticket to Broadway, please.
Watch out for the closing doors. Watch your pocketbooks and purses. And all little girls going to Broadway, keep it down.
No, not anymore. I want to be living out loud. I want to be noticed, not just one more face in the crowd. I want to be in, not just at the show. I want to be heard, every word up to the last row. I want to be classy, love the sass. I want to have wings, you keep the strings, and I'll take the brass. I want to be out there, and I'll make you proud. As long as I'm out there, out loud. Dear Dad, ever since Mom died, the house has been silent. No singing, no dancing, just me in my room. You go to work, and I'm left with the house like a tomb. But I can't be silent for one more second, so I question the world, and the answer beckoned, and that answer's got to be correct. It said, go, Muriel, go. Go, Muriel, go. To where it's okay to project.
Next stop, Union Square. Change here for all uptown trains to Broadway.
I need to project. I've got to be living out loud. I've got to be noticed, not just one more face in the crowd. I've got to be in, not just at the show. I've got to be heard, every word up to the last row. I'm gonna be ruckus, still keep my poise. Gonna keep everyone awake and make a big noise. Because if you're quiet and do what's allowed, you'll never be out there out loud.
Station stop, 42nd Street, Broadway.
Finally made it. Yes, just like I vowed. Here we're boisterous and rowdy. How they say howdy. Where spotlights are silent and never a cloud. Where living is living, and I can be out there.
when she got her start.
There were no mics, but she tore it apart. Some guy in China said he heard me fart.
Yes, she can't project that far, 'cause she's a Broadway star.
So, I told the costume designer I don't care if it is the 1890s. I want to show a little leg and cleavage.
Her calves may be cows and her waistline is gone.
Hey, wait a minute.
Her eyes may have bags.
They're by Louis Vuitton.
But she's a Broadway star.
Ethel, I read you're giving away for Best Director at the Tonys.
I know, it's perfect. I've been wanting to give it to directors for years.
Her hair may be hard and her mane may be soft. 6 tabbies fold over.
And I only cough.
'Cause she's a Broadway star.
She's the kind of a star they don't make.
Not anymore.
She will not burn her bra.
Because if I did, you'd all see my boots hit the floor.
There's Mary Martin.
How can you not like
A fairy, a nurse, and a nun on a bike.
Sure, Mary is sweet, but she's also a
She's
sheep.
a Broadway star.
Mary Martin is fine if you like talent. No autographs. Get the heck out of my way. I've had Abbott and Robbins and Josh direct this dame. No matter how much they direct me, each part that I play is the same.
So what if her eyes are a little too near? And what if her breakfast is cornflakes and beer?
I enter and all homosexuals cheer.
Her
Hey!
pictures in every gay bar.
'Cause she's a broad.
Oh, please,
We're on
let me pass. Move your ass!
for the left. Broadway
What did you say?
I said, wow.
That's what I thought you said.
Oh, are you really her? Are you really the greatest musical theater star that Broadway's ever produced?
I like this kid. She's cute.
But what's a young girl like you know about an old...
Hey, watch it, Goldie. Let's remember who got you your job.
Well,
He's right. Most kids your age don't know anything about musicals. They're too busy watching the TV or listening to that newfangled rock and roll. How do you even know me?
Oh, well, I know everything about musicals, but especially you. I even know cut songs from your shows, like Mr. Monotony from Call Me Madam.
I don't even remember that.
it opened Act 2 in Boston and laid an egg, Ethel.
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
Of course.
She's cute, Goldie. I like her. She's smart.
Let's take her to lunch!
Sure. Come on, kid. You look hungry. So this here's Goldie.
Hi.
He's been my rehearsal pianist since Red Hot Blue. Oh, you gotta fix that, Vincent. By the way, hello. Good to see you. Nice haircut. How's the wife? Table for 3. Okay. So, what's your name?
Oh, Muriel Plackenspoon.
I'm gonna have to change that.
That's what I told my dad.
Okay, bring us the actors' menus. Vincent has a perfectly good menu with lower prices. Just because you're starring in a show doesn't mean you're made of money or that you should waste it. So let's look at this with lower prices for actors.
So why aren't you at school, Muriel?
Oh, I ran away to be a Broadway star.
That sounds reasonable. I will have a liverwurst on pumpernickel.
But becoming a star ain't so simple.
What are you talking about, Goldie? It was easy.
Well, yeah, for you. You just got up on the stage of the Imperial Theater and
It
just...
was the Alvin.
You know what, Goldie? She's right. Bring this kid a tuna on rye and a beer. Oh, the beer's for me.
You wore a dress cut down to here and up to there and opened your mouth and sang.
I got rhythm and...
Actually, it was Sam and Delilah. Then 10 minutes later, I got rhythm.
She's right, Goldie. So, Muriel, who knows everything about me, and it's Have you ever seen the movie All About Eve?
I don't know all about Eve, but I do know all about Ethel. Ask me what I know, it's all about Ethel. I put Merman into my permanent memory banks. That kid next door knows her Barbie dolls and her Schwinn. But I know you know Irving Berlin if you knew Gershwin.
And everyone knows I knew the greats, the near greats, and the ingrates.
Yes, but I know that Gershwin climbed up 5 flights to your dressing room during the intermission of Girl Crazy and said, Ethel, whatever you do, never go near a singing teacher.
That's exactly what he said.
Yes, all I know I owe to all about Ethel. I do well in you, and I'm telling you, Ethel, thanks. I know that most kids know that Eve loved Adam, but I know Sally loved Cosmo and call me Madam. Others have tried, but they can't call my bluff. I know all about Ethel, and that's enough.
Okay, let's quiz her. 1934.
Anything goes.
1936.
Red hot and blue.
1939.
Ooh, that's a trick question, cause that year she starred in two. Dewberry was a lady and stars in her eyes.
Hey, she's good.
But the next show was vital, cause for the very first time, they put your name alone above the title.
Animal Hattie. Okay, Miss Muriel Blackenstein, who's gonna have to change her name. If you can tell me who was my co-star in Happy Hunting, you can join me at rehearsal this afternoon as my guest.
Is that a promise?
Yeah.
Happy hunting, happy hunting. Fernando Lamas.
Right! I hated that guy.
Though kids all think I'm weird, I'm all about Ethel.
She's all about Ethel.
And I'm very smart and Mary Martin as well. I know that gimmicks are good for strips, even though I don't know why the show's called Gypsy. Shouldn't it be the Ethel Merman show? Cause it's all about Ethel.
Like you're all about
If you
Ethel.
know all about Ethel, it's all you need to know.
Ethel, we're due back at rehearsals in 5 minutes.
Okay, Vincent, I'll take the check. Goldie, take care of the tip. Muriel, follow me.
You're just gonna take
I
me.
am.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
Excuse me, Miss Merman, please follow me next. So you count to 4 when you hear the big blast of music on the 5th beat. You bring the newspaper down from your face, rise on 6, and start to speak on 7.
All right, but after I bring the newspaper down on the 5th beat, after the blast of music, I'm gonna have to take a pause.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Muriel, can you please tell this stage manager why I might need to pause after revealing myself to the audience for the first time?
Because you are the greatest star to ever step on the stage of a musical theater, and the audience is going to give you an ovation because it's been a while since you've been on Broadway. Am I close?
Well, close enough.
Who's this child?
Who is this child? Muriel Blackenstein knows more about musicals than you'll ever forget, young lady. Muriel knows all about my career. Muriel knows that taking the post off an earring at Lamston's is not considered stealing. And let's just take a 10.
10 minutes, everyone! 10 minutes, Miss Merman. 10 minutes, Miss Blackenstein.
Thank you, Ken.
Oh, showbiz sucks.
What? How can you say that? Here you are in the St. James Theater,
get to the good stuff that drives you nuts. Take my producer, David Merrick. He will not let up on trying to get me to stay with the show longer than 3 months.
Oh, I know you don't want to do long runs. You said it on the Tonight Show.
You stay up late. I like that in a kid. Well, anyway, David is obsessed with making Hello Dolly the longest running show of musical history. He is driving me bonkers. But, as I always say, you gotta take the rough with the smooth.
You said that in Gypsy.
I did? Are you sure? Well, it's the truth, ain't it? So what's the diff? I like having someone to talk to on breaks. It reminds me of something, though.
Is it like your relationship with the little girl from Panama Hattie?
How do you know about... What am I saying? All right, Miss Muriel Plackenstein, since you know so much, do you remember the name of that song that was cut in New Haven? What was it called?
You mean Chunks.
That's it. Goldie! You know the song that was cut from Panama Hattie in 1940?
You mean, this?
No, that's from Red Hot and Blue, which was the show about the search for a girl who sat on a waffle iron.
Oh, they don't write plots like that anymore. So do you remember this song?
Oh, of course I do. I even know the dialogue between Hattie and the little girl of the man she's in love with.
Good. Let's sing it for fun, huh? Oh, jeez. I haven't sung for fun since the Hoover administration.
Oh, no, I really couldn't. I mean, how can I sing with you? Hit it, Goldie! I've been a lonesome little type. No one to love, no one to like. Then suddenly, it was all you, friend.
I was a solitary dame like that, alone and blue until you came. Oh, what a relief to call you friend.
Now I know.
And I know what gives a life its peace. I've known it for many a year. And kiddo, let me tell you, it is chums. When adversity comes, they are there with their rums and cokes and clumsy jokes as long as we're agreed.
What you need is pals to boost your morals. When you're left with a bag of crumbs, what's the left?
Just chums, the kind that stick through thick and thick.
If it's quicksand quick, just call for help and here you come.
No one else but your chums.
Not even the fire department.
Not even J. Edgar Hoover in a dress.
Oh, Hattie, you've never had a chum like me before.
Well, what do you mean, kid?
I mean, someone who will tell you that you wear too much makeup, your clothes and shoes look like you bought them in a fire sale, and you have no social graces at all. That kind of chum.
Gee, I don't know whether to thank you or kill myself. What do I need when I'm down in the depths or dumps?
Chums! What do I crave when I'm struck by the measles and mumps?
Chums!
Where would I turn when my teachers all give me an F?
Chums! Who can I shout out who wouldn't say, what are you, deaf?
Chums!
Now I know
And I know
what gives a life its peace. We both have the answer for that.
and Hattie's second chorus here too.
Pound!
Just pals.
Boost your morale.
Two
When you're
down.
left with a bag of crumbs.
What's left?
Just chums,
The kind that stick through thick and thick. If it's quicksand quick, just call for help and he'll come.
no one else but your chums.
All the rest are just bombs.
Thank our lucky star that we are. You know, I'm feeling generous today, kid. You take the high note. Chums!
Well. Is that song from our show?
Watch out. Here comes the abominable showman.
David, listen. The steps on the big dolly staircase have to be sanded. Jesus Christ! Do you want me to break my ass on the opening night? God, how Pearl Bailey didn't kill herself carrying that huge ego down the stairs every day.
And a lovely hello to you too, Ethel. Who's this?
This is Muriel, but what is that ridiculous last name again?
Plackenstein.
You
You're gonna have to change that.
I know!
Hey, the kid has lung power. And she could sing obscure cut songs and hold her own with the Merm. Bet she could hit that second balcony without even trying. Might just give you a run for your money, Ethel.
Muriel, David Merrick, the producer of the show.
Oh, of course! You're the name above the title of Gypsy and Dastry Rides Again. And I do, starring Mary Martin and Robert Preston.
Did you see that show?
No, my dad said it wasn't worth the ticket price because there was only a cast of 2 in it, so we went to a movie instead.
Smart kid. And she wants to be an actress.
No, I want to be a star.
Well, I guess there is a difference. You know, I've worked with many of the stars who couldn't act or sing or eat with a fork, but they were stars. Oh, I don't mean you, Ethel. So, listen, have you and that thief of an agent of yours considered extending the contract with our show?
See? I told you, David, 3 months and I'm out.
No long runs.
Thank you. She's useful. So what are you going to do for little Muriel here, huh, David? You going to give her a couple of comp tickets to my opening? David? What's the matter? You have a stroke?
If Merman leaves the show, then Dolly will close, and Fiddler on the Roof will become the longest-running musical in Broadway history. And I won't have it!
You know we can all hear you, David.
Marvin!
Marvin Blackstone, David's general manager.
Marvin, when do we become the longest-running musical in Broadway history?
Well, if we run, I mean when. Well, Dolly will pass My Fair Lady's record run in September of 1970.
Yes, Marvin, Dolly will. I always bring us through to the next touchdown. Tell me which Dolly broke all the house records at the St. James.
Easy. Pearl Bailey's all-black cast.
And who would beat that record with her Broadway name of names if she only chose to stay?
I told you, David, no more long runs. After this, Hollywood. Pilot season. Mama's got to think about her bank account.
Fine.
Fine.
If Ethel won't do any long runs, then my next Dolly will be you.
Me?
Yes, you, Muriel Plackenstein. You will star as the first Dolly in my new all-child cast of Hello, Dolly.
Oh, no, I can't star in a Broadway show.
Why not?
Because I've never done it before.
I didn't stop Barbara Streisand when I discovered her and sold her wholesale. Whatever happened to her?
Hollywood.
Yes, right, that. Well, we all have to start somewhere, little Muriel. Why even I had to start in St. Louis.
Oh, but David, can she sing?
With Carol Channing.
The Ginger Rogers.
The fact is, I've heard her sing and she's great. Slap a small red dress on her, bring her down a miniature staircase, and leave the rest to me. So, do you have an agent, kid?
No?
My kind of actor.
Oh, don't worry. I'll make sure she's represented by my agent.
Really?
Oh, don't get too excited, kid. Agents don't really do anything.
Then why do you have one?
She's got you there, Ethel.
Well, she'll have to join equity. Have you ever been on stage before? Do you know anything about show business?
Wait a minute. This sounds like dialogue for me to get your gun.
Sometimes life imitates art.
You're not really serious. She's just a kid. She has to think about school and her dad and real life. No, this is not a good idea.
Real life, Ethel? Real life? You and I know there's something much bigger and better than life. Showbiz is better than life. Life is just living without the laughs. We get applause and give autographs. Showbiz is better.
David, I've been in this business longer than you. It's not all Skittles and beer.
Showbiz is better than booze. I like my scotch and I like my wine, but I can get high off a soul outside. What could be better?
The kid needs to graduate junior high.
School is nice, but kid, you've got to choose a textbook or a scrapbook full of brave reviews for the Times and News. How could you refuse?
Oh, Dave, she's just a kid.
Showbiz is better than kids. You procreated and set 'em loose.
Go produce, kids. Me, I'll just produce. For that I don't need any alimony seeking wife.
Showbiz, showbiz.
sex. Sex is okay, but one day you'll know not every girl gets a standing O. Showbiz is better.
Showbiz is better than love. Love is divine when you first embrace. Then you're old and you've been replaced.
Okay. Who can resist a song about showbiz? Hell, I made an entire movie about it. Now, if you're serious about this, David, I'll take the kid under my wing. I'll teach her. I'll make sure she's well taken care of. By the time I'm done with my run as Dolly, she'll be ready to start rehearsals. Now, is that something you want? You're real.
I'll take that as a yes. Marvin, drop a contract and I'll draft a press release. And if Hal Prince tries to cast little Ronnie Howard as Tevye, I'll sue his ass. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Showbiz is better than life. Life is a thing done from 9 to 5. We wait for dark to become alive. So pull out the crown, your symbol, and your fight.
And play a tune that says
Showbiz, showbiz. It's better than life.
Dad.
Oh, Dad, how did you find me? How did you know where I was?
Well, your note said you were running away to be a Broadway star. So I hopped on a train and I got off where you and I always get off, at 8th and 42nd. Then I got off at the 44th Street exit.
Oh, the front of the train. You taught me that secret.
And then some autograph hound told me that she saw Ethel Merman and a little girl with a suitcase full of records going into the St. James. I knew it had to be you. The rest was easy, so here I am.
well, well, Mr. Plackenstein, I presume.
And who are you?
Dad, this is David Merrick. You know, the name over the title.
Oh, yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about that, David. My contract clearly states that I'm the only one that should have her name above the title. Nobody else's name should be in bigger letters or font or have more lights pointed at it.
Later,
Just have
Ethel.
people look.
Wow and a half, you made Miss Merman stop talking. You must be a magician.
Mr. Plackenstein, you have a very special little girl here.
I know that. Come on, Muriel, we're going home.
Oh, but Dad.
Which is why I've decided to groom her at great expense to be the next star of the biggest hit musical on Broadway.
Muriel is not going to be in Fiddler on the Roof.
Didn't I read you turn that one down, David?
Dad, they want me to be the next Dolly in an all-child cast of Hello Dolly. You remember that show we saw with Betty Grable in it?
But Miriam, you are just a child.
Well, that's precisely what makes her unique.
She is not going to do it.
Mr. Plackenstein.
David, Mo is right.
What?
What do you mean Mo is right? And how do you know his first name?
Oh, Muriel told it to me at lunch in Sardi's.
You took Muriel to lunch at Sardi's?
Oh, yeah, and Miss Merman stole 2 ashtrays from the table and she gave me one for you.
Okay, that's enough. So, you look like you could use a drink, Mo.
Well,
Maybe an old-fashioned.
leave out the cherry,
Leave out.
leave out the bitters,
And make it a straight ride.
Hey, that's from Panama Hattie.
And I saw you in that in 1943.
Oh, 1940. 1943 was something for the boys.
Well, why don't we go to Downey's and have a drink and talk about it, huh, Mo? You don't mind if we cut out a rehearsal early, do you, David? Of course not. So, come on, Mo, Muriel, I cannot wait for you to meet my parents.
Your parents?
Yeah.
And they're alive?
Why don't you meet them and then you decide? And David, talk to them about slitting that red dolly dress up on the side. I want to show a little leg. Come on, Mo. Come on, Muriel. Oh, don't forget, Goldie, you have an appointment with your seropodist today. need you to watch Muriel here. She's the kid I told you about on the phone. Big talent, big talent. Mo, Muriel, my mom and pop the plaque and seeds. Okay, we gotta go back to Downey's before happy hour ends. We'll call you before we get back. Love you, Mom. Love you, Pop. See you, kid. Come on, Mo. Taxi!
Bye. Hi.
Hi.
Excuse me, did you say something? Sit. Gee, you guys are awfully quiet. Are you sure you're Miss Merman's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Merman?
Zimmerman.
Hey, I heard that. My ears must be adjusting. But how can you guys be Zimmerman and Miss Merman be Miss Merman?
When little F went into showbiz, she thought the name was too long.
So she lopped off the zim and became...
Merman! Well and a half. Do you guys talk this way just because you're old?
What a sweet child you are. Where we come from in Astoria, well, no one speaks above a whisper. Oh, we know what you're thinking. Everybody is surprised that Ethel is our little girl. Us being so
Quiet.
But Ethel is our baby, our one and only. You should have seen her when she was little.
Ethel was a happy tot, not a peep.
If I sang a lullaby, she would sleep.
If I gave her applesauce, she would try it. Ethel was content to be
Nice and quiet. Until one day we heard a blast and thought, well, they're digging a subway. At least we won't have quite so far to walk.
But then the noise grew bigger, and we thought, that can't be the subway. It was then that we knew our Ethel had learned to talk. And she was
Loud, very loud.
on the low, she could roar like a crowd.
She would bark like a bitch.
Even so, she was always on pitch.
She was crude.
She was coarse.
At the racetrack, she frightened a horse.
Today, she's gone far, and our Ethel's a star. We're so proud. But she's loud.
Hey, why is your Christmas tree still up? I mean, it's summertime.
Ethel never takes it down. She says it makes her feel festive. This is the first tree we got her in 1909.
In those days, when they called it an evergreen, they meant it. Christmas was a time she loved quite a lot.
But when she sang Silent Night, it was not.
Though for some her voice was less than inspiring.
Ethel made a wonderful air raid siren. Really? No.
But as she grew, we rejoiced, we adored,
Except for her voice.
and though we've done our best, when we're laid to our rest in our shroud, she'll still be.
Well, you know. So I put some more gin in my lemonade.
And I turned off the switch on my hearing aid and smile while the rest of the world is loud.
never knew the history of haberdashery could be so titillating.
Well, men have to look as good as women in their own way.
And you do cut a dapper figure there, Mr. Blackenstein.
I am not changing my mind.
About what?
You know.
I don't know, Mo. Am I slow, Mo? Sometimes I have my doubts. I'm not immune to that opportune when that opportunity shouts. I heard it back in 30 when I held that endless note. And now the tune is from Muriel, loud and clear. Can't you hear? Listen while I quote. Some say opportunity knocks. Me, I don't agree at all. And our pen's nice, but my advice is listen to the trumpet call. Don't remain inside of a box. Summer, winter, spring, and fall. Be a student, hear that tune. Listen to the trumpet call. Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. What it means, I have no clue. Don't ask for whom the trumpet blows. Who knows? It blows for you. Living life by punching the clocks. Something that'll make you small. Show you care and hear that glare and listen to the trumpet call.
Miss Merman!
Ethel,
Ethel! Muriel had a mother.
are you worried I want to be her mother? Oh, Mo, don't be serious. I just wanted to have her chance. She's pretty good.
Pretty good. She's great.
Well, now, great takes a while. Give her a few months with me.
But I can't just...
No, don't make me blow your eardrums. Listen to it blow with brass and fury. Muriel will have her day. Listen to it blow and don't ignore it before it all has blown away. Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. We do
That was pretty good.
pretty good. That was great. And Muriel can be great too. Come here. Knowing when the door is gonna open. Hoping never made it so. Push right through the door. Don't be a baby. Hey, get free, girl. Let's flow. Don't be like the usual flock. Flock to a shopping mall. Stop sitting like a stump. Come on, get off your rump and listen to the trumpet call. You won't know what you're missing. That is until you listen. Listen to the trumpet call. Ra-ba-ba-ba-da-call. I said now call. Ra-ba-ba-ba-da-bop.
Miss Merman and Dad are late. Torture. Waiting to find out my fate. Torture. I may become the star of a Broadway show. Or hike it back to junior high if Dad says no. Okay, I wasn't cut out to be a grade A student. But suddenly, I know I can be a scholar. With Merman as my mentor, I'd be a scholar who can learn.
You're home. Mom. Pop, what'd you do? Not come out?
Dad, Miss Merman.
Ethel, call me Ethel.
I thought it was call me madam.
I cannot have Muriel calling me madam. I'll get arrested.
So,
So?
do I get to be the next Broadway star? Or will my life be ordinary and all the other kids at Canarsie?
Muriel, your dad loves you.
Oh boy, this is not going to be good news.
And you know I only want what's best.
Oh, jeepers! This is really going to hurt.
So, welcome to Shea Merman. From today on, you're gonna be my apprentice.
Who's gonna be learning the ropes? Like how to take stage and then murder the dopes. And who'll get the suckers to stand when she's through? Merman's apprentice, Merman's apprentice, Merman's apprentice, that's who.
Here we are. Watch this.
Oh, wow, a real-life rehearsal for a production number.
Yep, and we have just enough time to go get a sandwich and be back in time for the end of the song.
Oh, but how can we?
Oh, kiddo. Lesson number 1. When you're the star and the dance music begins, you gracefully exit. Let the dancers sweat their asses off, and then you come back in for one last chorus and the applause. It's a cinch. Let's go get some pastrami.
Through studious as she learns how to count out the house as she's taking her bow. Will be above the title upon each marquee. Merman's apprentice, Merman's apprentice, Merman's apprentice. That's me.
Publicity, it's a necessary evil. They're giving me some award at a banquet tonight at Bloomingdale's, and we gotta go.
Bloomingdale's?
I know. What's next? The Tonys and Corvettes?
Magic! I'm gonna learn magic! Those tricks of the trade no one knows anymore. It would be tragic to lose all that magic. When she passes on, they will see that she's passed all the magic to me.
First, you melt the mascara. Then, you beat it on with a safety pin. But don't poke your eye out!
Who's passing her classes because
someone had to tell the cab driver where we lived.
So how was Goldie's? We heard you two sang a duet.
Oh, how did you know?
We heard you from here.
He's kidding. Mr. Merrick called. He was there tonight.
David was there, but he didn't say anything.
I saw him. He looked really cranky.
Did? Ah, well, anyway, it's time for bed. Now, I promised your dad we wouldn't break too many rules.
But-
No, no. And everyone knows that a future Broadway star needs at least 8 hours of sleep, or she'll look 25 instead of 12.
Good night.
Good night.
It was really great tonight.
I know. So what did Merrick Monster really want?
Well, he seemed concerned about Muriel being out late, singing, and about you. And, well, actually, so am I.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's only been a few years since you lost Little Bit. And, well, we don't want you to get hurt again.
Silly Mom. Little Bit was my daughter. And Muriel is, well, Muriel.
I know, you're right, but, well, here she is. Now, say goodnight to Little Bit, and then you get some rest. You're in rehearsal too, Miss Zimmerman.
When do you stop being a mother?
Never. Even when Pop and I are on that table in our own urns, we'll still be watching over you. Well, we'll leave you and Little Bit alone.
Oh, she hated that nickname, didn't she?
She loved it. And she loved you. Don't let Daddy Sucker ever tell you different.
Who turned on his hearing aid?
Oh, he hears what he wants to hear, don't you worry. Come on, Pop, let's hit the bed.
What?
See?
To you, Little Bit. My little girl who left me too soon. Little Bit, what a funny name to name you. But it fit, and that's how it had to be. Little Bit, you would yell and cry, and though I tried to blame you, I admit you're a little bit like me. We would fight, and our fights would not be little. Who was right, I don't know, or I forgot. Now you're gone, Little Bit, and I'm alone with precious little. Little Bit, I miss you a lot. Who's there? Oh, Mary.
I'm sorry. I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, me neither. You know, sometimes when I can't sleep, I like to have a little chat with my daughter.
I didn't know you had a daughter.
Yeah, I did.
What's her name?
Her name was Ethel, like mine. And I like to call her Little Bit.
Oh, did she like that name?
I don't think so, but it stuck.
Well, where is she now?
Well, she's right here.
Oh, I get it. It's like when Dad tells me Mom is still here with us.
Oh, no. I mean, she's right here. These are her ashes.
Wow and a half. Can I hold her?
Yeah, sure. But don't sneeze or nothing. Like a song that could use a second chorus. It was wrong that you had to go away.
Thank you for letting me hold her. Was Little Bit a little girl like me when you lost her?
She was all grown up, but she was still my little girl. Hey, have you said your prayers?
Oh, I'm Jewish.
So? Does that mean you don't pray?
Only when we go to shul or a Passover Seder.
I went to one of those once at Julie Stein's house. I brought a ham sandwich.
You did?
Sure. I didn't want to get hungry. Off to bed, Muriel. Oh,
Good night.
good night, little. Good night, Muriel. Little Bit, there's an old familiar saying. No one knows what they've got until it's gone. Every night I just sit with you
What's the latest scuttlebutt, Marvin?
Oh, well, tickets for Merman are flying off the shelf.
Of course they are. That broad's sold out since Girl Crazy. But what about the advance on my new all-child's cast?
Well, they're not exactly storming the gates, but give it time.
Well, is she doing well in her lessons?
Merman's teaching her everything she knows. You know, the strange side effect is that she's starting to act like the kid's mother.
Really? Going soft, huh? This gives me a new idea. A new plan I like to call muscling the Merm and filling Merrick's coffers.
What about starring Muriel in the show?
Maybe I've been a little hasty on the novelty value of youth. I mean, sure, we'll give her a shot. But after we make that long-run record, the only way to do that is with Merman. Merman, Merman, Merman. Merman, 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 Merman. Send in Goldie. Goldie, you're Ethel's best friend, right?
Well, for 20 years, I've been Ethel's date between every marriage. I even got her through the Borgnine days.
Of course you did. And now, I'd like you to be around when I present her new apprentice. You can go back and tell Ethel how well I'm treating her. Yes. Marvin, bring the kid out.
Oh, Muriel.
Are you ready, kid? Good. Just follow my lead. Let the vultures in. Ed, Earl, Leonard. Meet my new star. Meet the kid with talent. Meet the kid with moxie. A song unsung. She's just as great as Merman, except the kid is young. She can do a time step. Hold a note forever. She'll have you all in tears.
Oh, Ephraim, I want to rejoin the human race.
Her voice so grand, oh, shake all the chandeliers. Meet the kid who's gonna make my musical run for years.
What about Ethel? Oh, does she think her piece were played
By a child!
Well, Ethel begged me, Ethel pleaded, David, I want to sign for the run of the play. She was desperate to be needed, but I told her, Ethel, you're soft as custard. Who knows how long you can cut the mustard? And I don't want you dying, God forbid. So 3 months of the Merm, and then it's meet the kid.
Dying? He asked me dying, Goldie. Did he really say that?
Yes! Not as loud.
Can't cut the mustard. Since when did David start using hot dog metaphors? You know, I have half a mind to march down to his office, demand that he sign me to a longer contract. Then I'll look
No,
around.
Ethel, that is exactly what he wants and exactly what you don't. You are walking right into his trap.
Oh my God, she's speechless.
Mayor!
Ethel, sit. That's a good girl.
Marvin! Any word from Merman or her agent? Anyone begging to extend their
I
contract?
haven't heard a thing.
Is your hearing aid on? Okay, fine. Plan B. I want you to push little Muriel harder in her lessons and rehearsals. I want you to make sure that they're strenuous and that they're tough. And that poor kid goes back to Merman and cries.
Cries?
Yes. If my subtle approach didn't work, maybe appealing to her compassionate side will do the trick. I'll get that Harridan to sign a long-term contract if it kills you.
Me?
Meet the kid at 7. Take her to her lessons. No time for snacks. Just work the kid to death and don't let the kid relax. Then if she can't take it, cries into her ice cream, complains that she is stressed. Each strangled breath will bring her to Ethel's breast. Make the kid a whiny brat, and Merman will do the rest.
No time for lunch now, Muriel. Mr. Merrick has you on a tight schedule.
Fencing, fencing, I gotta learn fencing. I tap what then sing a scale me,
Mr. Blackenstein, she's tired. She's exhausted, and frankly, all this whining and crying is starting to get on Ethel's nerves. Yeah, I'm a little worried about how she's going to hold up. You know, under pressure.
My Muriel, she can take it. She comes from hardy stock.
Yes, but when you're selling a tie or a hat, you don't get creamed by the New York Times.
The Times?
God, I hate the critics.
They eat kids for breakfast. It's like a sport. They'll say she's short on talent.
What's worse, they'll say she's short.
And the drafty theaters with no heat in winter. A kid could get the flu.
Chilled to the bone, ya could get pneumonia too. Who could blame you if you told her showbiz is not for you? You see, Marvin, it's all about the family. You've got Papa Mo.
He's a kid with talent.
Maybe something should be written in stone. Maybe Muriel should come home.
Mom and Pop Zimmerman.
He's a kid with moxie.
I don't know, Pop. Maybe Ethel is getting too close to the child. I heard her singing like she used to for a little bit.
And baby makes 3.
Come on and meet the... Wait a minute, do I bring the newspaper down to the count of 4 or 6?
Never mind, Muriel. Tonight, instead of singing a lullaby, I thought I would read you a bedtime story. The one about Rogers and the 3 Hammersteins. It's real scary.
Meet the kid with talent. Meet the kid with moxie. A song, a song. She's just as great as Merman, except the kid is young. She can do a time step, hold a note forever. She'll have you all in tears. Her voice so grand, shake all the chandeliers.
Muriel, I need you to do more publicity.
Muriel, don't be late for your pally. Both those method acting classes.
Yes, Muriel, we're going to the circus, and then to Sardi's, and then we're going on a boat ride to watch the sunrise, and then Muriel!
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 Merman's Apprentice. That's me.
Muriel!
I miss Canarsie. I miss my room. I miss the swamps that scent the air with their perfume. I miss my pogo stick. I miss my hula hoop. I miss the poodle from next door. I even miss his poop. My teachers from junior high. The fish sticks they served most every Friday. I miss my dad especially. And I wonder if he's missing me.
Oh, Muriel, dear. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt your ballad, but I took this phone message from your friend Cassandra Mishkin back in Canarsie. She said Brooklyn Day was a blast, and your dodgeball team did just fine without you.
I miss my neighbors. I miss my bike. I miss the houses on my street that look alike. I miss the soda jerks who sold me 2 cents plain. I miss the takeout food. I miss the cold chow mein. The buses that never come. getting scared.
Of what?
Well, Mr. Merrick is pushing me too hard. He keeps telling me that tickets aren't selling and that I should get out there and do more publicity. He even gave me some discount tickets to give out in Times Square. And then Mr. Blackstone is always dragging me to one more lesson, or one more rehearsal, or one more fitting, and then you.
Me?
Well,
I know. I've been acting like Medea on speed, and, well, I am not used to acting. I'm sorry. It just felt right.
what did?
Well, being a mom, again, singing you to sleep. Although when I'd sing you to sleep, I'd wake you up.
That's for maybe get your gun.
Of course it is. And I know I'm not your mom, and I can't replace her.
And I can't replace Little Babe.
No.
You must really miss her.
Oh, she was a handful. I remember we would go to the park, and I would get so mad at her because she couldn't make up her mind. I'd yell at her, "You don't want to go on the swings. You don't want to go on the seesaw. What the heck do you want to do?" I guess I was a handful, too. I was doing 8 shows a week. 8 shows. I'd be up there singing "There's No Business Like Show Business," and all I could think about was that I forgot to make her a tuna sandwich for her lunch. I guess I wasn't a very good mother.
I don't really remember my mom. My dad is great, though.
Mo? Oh, Mo is the top. Mo is a dad, a mom, and a haberdasher rolled into one. And you, Miss Muriel Lake, do not need another parent.
No. But I could use a chum.
Really?
Yeah.
You mean a pal?
Uh-huh.
To boost your morale.
That's right.
When you're left with a bag of crumbs.
What's left
Just chubs, the kind that stick through.
I can't think.
If it's quick, say it quick, just call help and who comes? No one else but your chum.
All the rest are just bombs.
Thank our lucky star that we are.
You know, I'm feeling generous, Ethel. You take the high note.
In this key, are you nuts? Oh, my Marjorie Lord, we gotta get to Downey's and meet your dad.
Really?
Yeah, he wants to take you home, which is perfect because that's what you want to do.
No, I don't.
You just sang a whole ballad about it.
Well, yeah, but that was when you were mothering me, and now that we're chums again, I don't want to go home. But I also don't want to stay away from my dad.
You don't want to go home. You don't want to stay away from your dad. What the heck do you want to do?
I want to stay here, long enough to become a Broadway star, and then I can go back home to Canarsie and show off my Tony to all the other kids who doubted me.
Sounds reasonable. Okay, so we head to Downey's. We convince your dad you need to stay for a while. We knock back a couple of cocktails while there's still 2 for 1. But first, let's reprise the reprise. Sorry, we're late, Mo. Traffic was terrible. The cab driver didn't speak English, couldn't make change, and then it rained, and I slipped, and a buckle fell off my shoe. And when little Muriel went into the gutter to look for it, she found $10, which is exactly what the cab cost. So who do you think's gonna win the Tony Hepburn of a call?
I'm taking Muriel home.
Well, then who's gonna find the buckle off my shoe? I don't suppose you ordered me an old-fashioned.
Ethel?
Leave out the chair. Leave out the
Ethel?
Leave out the... Oh, never mind. No! I got your phone message, and it's only natural for you to worry, but we have to think about little Muriel.
I am, and my mind is made up. Mr. Merrick is right.
Maybe Mr. Merrick is right, but maybe he's wrong. Some say opportunity knocks. Me, I don't agree at all.
Ethel, the reprise won't work this time.
Well, it works on all my shows.
This isn't the show. It's real life.
Oh, but showbiz is better than life. Mr. Merrick taught me that.
No, Muriel, your dad does not think you can be a Broadway star. He thinks you'll crack under the pressure. He thinks this is not the life for you. He thinks you'll be miserable. He thinks I can't get away with singing a reprise.
Oh, but Dad, I know I'm working really hard, but I'm singing and dancing and fencing and learning, and then I'm going out to Goldie's every night where I sing somewhere and I stay up late, and I watch people drinking and carousing, and I never want it to end.
Muriel, sweetheart, it has to end.
No!
Your dad's right.
Whose side are you on?
Yours, kiddo, but you have to know, after we open, it's a warm bed and a good night's sleep for us.
No more late night?
No.
No more liquid lunches or Gap Fest Astoria? No more reprises?
No! From here on out, it's a good night's sleep and vows of silence.
But...
Hey, how do you think I got through 40 years of 8 shows a week? Being a Broadway star, it's not a job. It's a calling. It's like taking the veil. 8 shows you show without fail. No matter how you may feel, you show, or the show is a failure. It's like taking a vow. 8 shows you show and you vow. You give your all, that's the deal. No matter what happens to ail ya. Yes, you give up a lot every day just to get through each night till you're done. To them, you're a luminous star, but what you are, kid, is a nun. You're alert on day 1 and dead by day 4. So Muriel, baby, beware what you pray for. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm happy belting a song. But by Saturday night, your belt starts to tighten, your knuckles get white, and you wail. But if you can just stay awake till you go home and make your Saturday supper and break out the mail, you recover on Sunday, start again Monday, taking the veil. Taking the veil.
No, there's got to be more. What about all the glamour, the people of the stage show?
Oh, sure. You exit at 11. You say goodnight to Max. The crowd's been there since 10, and not one has got a pen. Still you smile as the mob attacks. Oh, Miss Merman, you were great. You were swell. You say thank you, but you know you were great. You were swell. Yeah. But they didn't even see the show. And the ink gets on your fingers, but you sign until you're blue. And they all want a picture, a handshake, a kiss. And what do you get? Their flu. Your standby goes on as a fill-in while you have to take penicillin, and the grosses go down as you're blowing your nose. The producer has commissions, and he threatens to close. So before you are well, though it's hell, you go back to the show. 'Cause you know that if you're a hit, then you're a slave, and that's it. If you're signed for a year, you make it appear that you're fresh when it's clear that you're stale. So just try to get through the week without having to speak, kid. This isn't the life for the meek or the frail, but it's the world that you covet. So you better love it. Taking the veil. Taking the veil. Could refuse her all baloney. tell you that he wanted to be one of those commercial artists. You know, those guys that paint the posters on the side of buildings and buses. He told me.
I didn't even know you were listening. Okay, okay, you can take the veil. But remember, you're still Jewish.
Yes, sir.
A Jewish nun? Sure. Okay, let's go get a pizza. We open tomorrow, and after that, it's steak and baked potatoes.
Oh, tomorrow? Aren't you nervous?
Nervous? Did I ever tell you what Richard Rogers told me? He said, Ethel, if those suckers could do what you do, they'd be up there.
Wow and a half.
Never forget that. Oh, and one other thing. Never eat anchovies before kissing Fernando Lamas.
The best part of the show.
The best part of the show.
The best part of every show is intermission. And stretch your legs to get your candy bar.
Grab a scotch at any handy bar. Gossips will talk you to death. Oh, be talking about our little Ethel.
Wasn't she great? Well, maybe long ago. For me, this intermission is the best part of the show.
Ah, Marvin, God, I love intermission.
Well, why, you get a cut of the orangeade?
Yes, I do.
Do we get to go backstage after the show?
Oh, I never go backstage. Ethel always used to beg me to, but I told her I never went to see a father at his work either.
Look, there's Mr. Merrick.
Well, Marvin, it's official. Merman's 3-month run is a sellout. For once, it doesn't matter what the critics say. And they love her. Dolly's doing great. Dolly's doing swell. Merman doing Dolly means the tickets sell.
Well, at least when she leaves, you got the kid to take over.
The kid is selling bupkis and sure to come a cropper. Sure, the kid is nice, but the kid is green, so we'll send her back home to Papa. What? Marvin, the only way to make that long-run record is Merman. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell Ethel about the ticket sales tonight right after the show. Then she'll feel terrible for the kid, and she'll want to sign a new contract. I feel it in my bones. Then the kid can go right back to Canarsie.
Come on, we're going backstage.
But you never go back there.
Tonight, I am breaking my rule. Let's go.
Miss Merman. Thank you. 5.
Mom, Pop, what are you doing here?
Merrick strikes again. You need some more rouge on your left cheek.
What are you talking about?
He's talking about your complexion.
No, I am not. That's too much rouge now.
Okay, slow down. I have never seen them move this fast. What about Merrick? What did Merrick do?
It's not what he did, it's what he's not going to do. Pop and I heard it.
What?
Well, I did anyway. He said, the kid is selling bupkis and sure to come a cropper. Sure, the kid is nice, but the kid is green, so we'll send her back home to Papa.
Hey, that was pretty good. Eric said he has no intentions of making Muriel a star. She's not selling tickets.
Oh, that part you heard.
He's counting on you to bail her out.
He has played the oldest trick in the world on you. He made you think of somebody besides Ethel.
But does this mean I'm not gonna get to be the first 12-year-old to walk down the stairs in a pretty red dress?
Oh, Muriel, honey, don't worry. Mr. Merrick doesn't want you. You can always come home.
She's not going anywhere. All right, everybody back to your seats. Intermission is over. Go. Hey, leave Mr. Merrick to Miss Merman. Oh, and Dad, turn up your hearing aid. Something tells me you're going to love Act 2.
Oh, come on, everyone. The last time Ethel had that look in her eyes, they fired 2 baby Junes and an Uncle Jocko.
All right, get into that dolly dress.
What?
Get into it, feathers and all. We've got the entr'acte, we've got elegance, and we've got the waiter's gallop to get you ready. When Rudy says she's here and the curtains part, there you'll be on the top of the steps of Harmonia Gardens, and you, Miss Muriel Lake, will stop the show.
But how can I go out there when they're expecting you? What will they think?
They'll think I got shrunk at the dry cleaners. They'll think you're great.
But I've never done this before, and in front of all these people.
None of us have. These are new people. Did I ever tell you what Gershwin told me the first time I went out there? He said, Ethel, you screw this up, it's back to stenography.
But I don't know how to do stenography, and I haven't even warmed up yet. I mean, I need to do some...
Muriel! Clear your throat, take a breath, make it big, 'cause now you're gonna sing. Spare that note, half the death, spit it out. Yes, now you're gonna sing. I'm so scared the chorus whines. Nervous Nellies with no spines. Why should you be scared? You know your lines. So you stride to the light. There's your cue. Yes, now you're gonna sing. Put aside all your fright. You are you, not Harry Frank or Bing. Let the others do a scale. They're just scared their voice will fail. Park that gum on your cheek. It's time for Eureka and Wow. 'Cause now you're gonna sing. All the world's a stage, as some old playwright said. You enter, do some business, and then you're dead. If all the world's a stage demanding gaiety, then the key to it, kid, is spontaneity. Before you enter any day, don't think I get through it. No, just get your butt out of the door and do it. It's as easy can be. Like Mary told those brats, it's too late. Take it from me. Shoulders back, plant your feet, raise your arm, 'cause now you're gonna sing. Put 'em smack in their seats and they're yours. Yes, now you're gonna sing. Too much prep can make you snap. You want drama? Call Joe Pap. Close your eyes and open up your trap. And your voice flies right out. Make it soar, just like it's on a swing. There's no choice, there's no doubt, there's just the sing. So don't wait to be inspired. All those warm-ups make you tired. Show them what you're about, and then we'll go out for some chow. Yes, now you're gonna sing. You're gonna sing. You're gonna sing. Get your ass on that stage and let out all the rage. 'Cause now you're gonna
Watch me walking down the stairs. See me shadow in the grates. Shoulders back and head up high as each waiter calmly waits. and I like it. I really like it. Now we're stepping on the stage. Time to open up and sing. Smile and kiss my fears goodbye. Ethel's watching from the wing. Will she like it? I know I like it. And I pull out the charming sass, but never push. Wow, wow, fellas, I didn't fall on my tush. Now they're welcoming me back, and the audience goes wild. Stop, breathe, count up to 10. They're loving every pose as I strike it. I'll say it again. I really like it.
Holy crap, but who is she? Another dolly joined the firm. Just a kid, but what a voice. She could be a mini Merman, and they like her. They really like her. See her smile as she goes by. Though she's smaller than a gnome, she looks confident as hell.
Can't you tell that I am whole and I like it? I really like it. As I pass by the waiters, I give each one a glance. What's that, fellas? Sure, it's time for our dance. And we strut to the band. Strut, 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 lift up your skirt. It sparkles even more when you hug it. And I like it. Take a minute, listen to the band. Now wave your hand, just like we planned. Muriel won't go away. Muriel is here to stay. No, I will never go
That one was for you, little Ethel.
Muriel, you were wonderful.
Wow, 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 kid. One day you're no one and nobody cares. Then they all stare as you walk down the stairs. 'Cause you're a Broadway star. One day a kid with no future ahead. Next day you're standby who wish you were dead. 'Cause you're a Broadway star. You were nervous. I told you nerves get you nowhere. Forget Angela, Cheetah, and Gwen. I'll make a bet. There are 3 stars on Broadway. Muriel, me, and someone whose name I forget.
Oh, Dad!
Well, after that was some opening night. Let's grab a cab and hit Sardi's. Well, Muriel, they loved you, I have to admit. They loved the surprise and the shock of it all. But one musical number in a red dress does not a star make.
Oh, now, David, you know she has what it takes, and I know that your weasel of a press agent sent you the early edition reviews. Clive Barnes said the gimmick of a kid will make Dolly run forever. I say, Muriel and I split the run, and we do make Dolly the longest running musical in history.
Marvin, my dictaphone machine. Does that mean you'll sign another contract?
Oh, David, you know what a softie I of the deal. Besides, my features are too big for TV. And Muriel is the future.
But I thought you didn't want to do any more long runs.
Did I ever tell you that Little Vic wanted to be on Broadway? She did. Everyone told her it was too hard a nut to crack. I said it was easy. To be honest, it's somewhere in between. Now, Little Bit never got to realize her dream, but when I saw you up there, I knew I could do this for you and her.
Well, I was wrong. It's possible to be hard and soft at the same time.
No, not in front of the kid.
Where will I live?
Well, where do you want to live?
I want to live with you, Daddy Canarsie.
Smart kid.
And maybe Miss Merman can come and visit us and you can cook her your mother's famous kosher varnish dress.
Well, couldn't I just have a ham sandwich?
So, Mr. Merrick, I really get to wear this red dress 4 times a week?
Apparently, kid.
I think you should slit it up the side a little. I want to show some leg.
I taught her everything she knows.
Mysterious as she learns how to count up the house as she's taking her bow.
Will be above the title upon each marquee.
Merman's apprentice.
Merman's apprentice.
Merman's apprentice. Gushy and golly, who's playing Dolly?
Merman's apprentice.
Ah, showbiz. It really is better than life. Right, Muriel?